Hey everyone, ArchTalko here, welcoming you back to Destiny. In the previous episode, we got through Restoration, got a warp drive so we can visit other planets, and all in all, we had a pretty good old time, minus the time I died. We don't like to talk about that. So, in this episode, I need to give a disclaimer. We're going to be spending a pretty good amount of time going over the, well, I guess I should say going over a majority of the game's mechanics. We're going to be going over all the vendors, pretty much like all the locations in the tower. So if you played this game already and you're just watching this, watch me play through the story missions, go ahead, skip to the time shown on screen right now. If not, if you're new to Destiny, I highly recommend that you slog through these couple minutes of explanation because there are a lot of mechanics at hand, and honestly I feel bad for holding off explaining them until now, so we're just gonna get through them. We're gonna be all caught up, and then we're gonna have a good old butt slapping time. Maybe minus the butt slapping, who knows. I mean, if you're into that, awesome. We'll have a good old time. So without further ado, something I failed to show off at the beginning of the game was the fact that you can actually create your own character. There are three races. There are humans, awoken, and exo. It's interesting because all of these three classes actually spawned from the humans. Basically, when the collapse happened, when the traveler was fighting off the darkness and failing to do so, a pretty large band of humans tried to flee the darkness into the deeper reaches of space, specifically to a place called the Reef, which is located somewhere on the asteroid belt. Now, it's kind of ambiguous as to what exactly happened. There are multiple lore things in the game, and they all pretty much just say that something happened to warp the humans that escaped out into deep space, creating the Awoken. Now, during the time of the collapse, the humans that stayed on Earth to try to fight the darkness and the other planets as well, they ended up creating with the Golden Age technology sentient machines, sentient war machines called the Exo to help fight off the darkness. Obviously, this failed because the collapse ended up happening. Most of the Golden Age was lost, and it just wasn't a good old time. But that essentially is the origins of the Exo, the Awoken, and the humans. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways that you can customize your character. It's not quite as in-depth as, say, like the Elder Scrolls games, or like Saints Row 4, or Dark Souls 2, but I think there is enough variety that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I actually kind of find it fun just to tinker around and see all the little combinations I can make with my characters, so there's that. Alright, so now we are moving on to the vendors themselves. Probably one of the most important guys, one of the most important homies on the tower is the Cryptarch, Master Rahul himself. There are a bunch of different engram rarities. Basically what this guy does, whenever you find a little like glowy sphere thing out in the game, you come back to the tower, you talk to this guy, and he will decode it for you, which will reveal a pretty good weapon or armor piece. So there are a bunch of different rarities. There's white, which is the most common. There's green, which I think is labeled as uncommon. There is blue, which is rare. There is purple, which is legendary. And there is yellow or gold, which is exotic, which is the rarest and the hardest to obtain. On to the vendors. There are three class vendors for hunters, titans, and warlocks. Obviously, because we're playing as a warlock, we're going to be having to talk to our warlock vanguard. And this brings us to reputation. Every major faction in the game uses a reputation system. Basically, there are a bunch of different things that we're going to be unlocking as we level up, and these different like side quests and achievement sets will, if we fulfill them, give us reputation towards their respective factions. There's the Vanguard, which is PvE or player versus engine. There's Crucible, which is PvP. And then there are three independent factions. Before we get into those, though, I'm going to go over the other vendors, and I'm also going to go into the stats that kind of dictate these three separate factions, but just know that they exist, and they also use this reputation system. So we have the class vanguards. They will sell us purple legendary gear once we get to level 20, and once we get to rank 2. When we get to rank 3, we can talk to the weapon vanguard person, which will sell us level 20 purple weapons. Pretty dang possum. We also have Crucible Quartermasters. These guys, Crucible, PvP, player versus player. Whenever you complete a match in PvP, you get 25 reputation. If you win, if you lose, you get 10 reputation in addition to any Crucible bounties that you might do. So when you get to rank 2 in the Crucible, you get to talk to this fine man, and he'll sell you level 20 legendary gear, which is exclusive to the Crucible stuff. Get to rank 3, you can talk to this fine person, and you will get level 20 purple legendary weapons. Now, heading over to this side of the tower, we have the shipwright. She sells essentially cosmetics. You can buy different ships, which don't really do anything except glorify your loading screen. So if that's something you want to get into, if you just kind of want to mix up the screen that you're probably going to spend like a quarter of your time looking at, then, you know, by all means, go ahead and invest in the ship. Some of them are actually pretty decent, and this is one of the only ways you can get a ship in the game that isn't brown. So it might be something you want to look into. Personally, I don't really care, so I've never actually... Well, actually, I think I might have bought one ship from here, but that's like it. So if it's something you're into, go for it. She also sells Sparrow upgrades, and this is very important. The Sparrow upgrade itself is actually very nice, but whatever you do not buy one of these upgrades until you get past a certain point in the story, because spoiler alert, near the last quarter of the game, you get a free Sparrow upgrade, which is the exact same as the one that you can buy. And these things are pretty expensive, so do yourself a favor, hold off. You'll thank me later, I promise. In addition to the shipwright, we have the cosmetics lady. She sells various shaders and emblems. I've already gone over what those do, but it should be known, she does refresh her stock every day. With the exception of the shaders, she only sells these 4 shaders, and maybe there's going to be an update in the future where she sells different varieties, but as it is, the only way you can get shaders aside from her and aside from these 4 is just randomly through PvP or doing strikes. So pretty fun stuff. Now, getting over to the main honcho himself, we have the speaker. This guy is another cosmetics guy, but instead of selling emblems and shaders, this guy will sell really cool emblems and really stinking awesome class items. I mean, seriously, some of the stuff just looks amazing. I definitely do want to get something from him. He is a vendor that will only refresh his stock once every Tuesday, so another thing to keep in mind. Heading over to the gunsmith, this guy, I don't know, I don't find him very useful. There are a few exotic weapon quests where you'll actually be talking to him and buying things from him, and you know, that's all fine and dandy, but his main purpose is to sell a variety of guns. Personally, I don't really recommend buying from him either, because there are going to be so many loot drops in the game that, I don't know, I can't, you get so many, I really can't recommend actually buying anything from him. But if there's a certain type of weapon you want, you know, maybe he has it and it's actually a pretty decent upgrade. Maybe you're just really unlucky and you're not getting the weapon choice. If that's the case, you know, maybe give him a shout. He might be worth your time. For me personally, I like never buy anything from him though. So just take anything I say with a grain of salt. Pretty much is what it comes down to. Heading over to special orders / postmaster person. Special orders, anytime there is a promotional code, you can head over to bungie.net and redeem it. As you can see, I have a bunch of different emblems and shaders. I will actually link down in the description below to a set of emblems, shaders, and grimoire cards that you can buy, or not buy, but redeem. So that's pretty cool. Over here we got the postmaster. This guy is the true American hero. Like, seriously, he's awesome. You might be thinking to yourself, oh man, I gotta be really diligent when I play through a level because I don't want to miss out on any engrams. Well, let me tell you something. This guy, if you accidentally miss any engram in a level, when you come back to the tower, he will have it available to you. So, I mean, it's always good to be diligent, and you know, if you see an engram drop, it's always a good idea to go ahead and pick it up. But you can sleep easy at night knowing that if you do miss an engram, he will have it available to you. Additionally, again, later on in the game when we unlock other modes of play, different rewards for different things, including completing daily events, completing public events, completing, or anytime you rank up a faction to rank 3. All these things, whenever you get the reward from them, you will pick it up through the postmaster. So you can be rest assured anytime you see that little notification floating over his head, it is pretty much the best thing since Christmas. So, pretty awesome guy. Last but not least, Xur. There is a very special vendor in the tower that only appears on weekends, specifically from like Friday morning until Sunday morning. He is the only source in the game that is guaranteed to sell you exotics. So he's really cool, but he only accepts these currencies called motes of light, which we've already kind of gone over, Again, it's something that we'll unlock later in the game, and strange coins, which again, I don't think we've gotten any. If we have, we might only have like 1 or 2, not totally sure. But it's something that we won't really be able to get a whole lot of yet until, again, the end game. But I don't actually have footage of him yet because when I recorded this episode, it was like a Wednesday. But rest assured, when he does show up on the weekend, I will make it a point to showcase what exactly he is selling. Alright, so last but not least, I need to talk about 3 stats on our character himself. When we pick up gear, there's a chance that it will have stats in either intellect, strength, or discipline. Intellect will decrease the cooldown for our super ability. Strength decreases the cooldown for our melee ability, and discipline decreases the cooldown for our grenade ability. Pretty awesome stuff. Now, how this comes into play, there are 3 factions in the game: New Monarchy, Future War Cult, and Dead Orbit. New Monarchy, their colors are red and white, which are personally my favorite out of the 3. They specialize in intellect and strength. So if you want to play a build, again, this is endgame when you can actually buy stuff from them. When you want to play a build that specializes in using their super and their melee ability a lot, New Monarchy is yo bros. Future War Cult, their colors are purple, orange, and yellow. They specialize in intellect and discipline, so if you want to play a build that uses their super and their grenades a lot, these are the people for you. Finally, and probably most emo-y, is the Dead Orbit. Their colors just kind of monochrome. They specialize in strength and discipline, which decrease the cooldown of yo grenades and yo melee ability. So that's what you want to spam. They are the people for you. So that about wraps it up. Again, there's the more we level up, the more we're going to be unlocking, and the more again I'm going to be having to go over. But I hope that kind of clarified a few things. I hope you guys are finally caught up on all the happenings on the tower. Anytime I complete a mission, I'm going to be going back to the tower, I'm going to be turning stuff in, I'm going to be talking to these fools, and we're going to be having a good old time. So, with that, what do you guys say we go back to the main episode? Waboosh. Hey, we made it through, or you just skipped through. Either way, we're going to go ahead and do the next story mission. Now, something I do want to point out, we do have 2 missions available to us, the Dark Within and the Warmind. Thing is, bigger icons like the Dark Within are main story missions that we have to do in order to progress the story. Smaller icons, like the one used for the Warmind, are optional, but I think just as interesting as the main ones. Thing is though, I'm only level 3, so I will be very overwhelmed if I try to do a level 4 mission right now. So we are going to go ahead and do the Dark Within first. So let's go ahead and select that. Now I could also put it to level 4, but no thank you.
There are reports that the Fallen back at the Cosmodrome are keeping a pretty tight guard on the old Skywatch. Could be one of their leaders, or it could be something valuable. The speaker's asking Guardians to look into it. Okay, the Skywatch is just on the other side of the steps. And it's surrounded by Fallen. Well, I'm ready if you are.
Well, I'm enthusiastic if you are. Oh, wait. You're not. Dinkelberg. Anyway, what do you guys say we make our way over? So, I just want to say something right now. Oh, man, I'm not used to this Warlock glide. I'm not going to make that either. Guys, I am not used to this Warlock glide. Ooh.
You know, this place must have been amazing before the collapse. Thousands of humans boarding the colony ships, off to build cities beyond.
Yeah, man, this area would have been so cool to see, like, in its prime. Just, I love it so much. I mean, ooh! There is the public event oncoming. Okay, so here's the thing. In Destiny, it's meant to be like a living, breathing world. So there are these scheduled events that take place called public events. If you do them, you get a lot of rewards. So let's go ahead and... Oh, you. Okay, well, I was gonna do the public event and get the booty, but Mr. Whatever your name, Mr. Hunter, awesome, not awesome guy, totally just killed the guy before we got a chance to take part in it. Ooh. There are 3 types of events in Destiny. That type was one where you have to eliminate a like stronger version of an enemy. There's like a safe zone that like it goes like kind of on a predetermined route, and if you manage to kill it before it gets to the end of that route, get a gold rating, get a bunch of really good booty that's used to like upgrade materials and to rank up your Vanguard ranking and all that good stuff. So, man, I'm so. I'm gonna be all pouty now. No, I'm not, because I'm playing Destiny. We're having a good old time. Whether or not Mr. Dinklebot wants to have a good old time, you know what? We're not gonna let anyone, Hunter or Ghost, get us down. Also, okay, speaking of Ghost, can I just point something out real quick? Our Ghost, right, our fragment of the Traveler that's infused with, you know, both the Traveler's technology and its light itself, a manifestation of the Traveler itself, is actually named Ghost as well. That'd be like if I was named Human, or this chest was just named Chest. You know, well, I guess it is just called Chest. You guys get the point though. Like, what were they thinking? Why didn't they just give him an actual name and not just call him Ghost the Ghost? You know, does that make any sense? I don't think it made.
We're in. This was one of Skywatch's old array stations, a link to the lunar colonies.
So, yeah, that's...
Dead end. Fallen sealed this gate. I can get it open.
That's good to know. So, yeah, I mean, that's... The game never actually officially, like, gives him a name, so everyone in the community pretty much just calls him either Dinklebot, or I like to call him Dinkleberg, personally.
The Fallen really didn't want anybody getting in. Or out.
So, if you hear me calling him that, that's why. I just thought I should point that out. So, ooh. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but anytime I step on those, like...
What is this? Lots of motion ahead.
Oh, man.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I know, Obi-Wan. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but when I step on those wart things, it kind of make like a squelching sound, and it is not the... Ooh, God! Oh, that is... Oh, those are things. Those are things. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hive, one of my favorite types of enemies in the game. They have one of the most fitting themes in the game. So I'm gonna shut up and let you guys listen to the awesomeness that is their sound. Or music. What am I saying?
There's a wizard here. You have to kill it.
Oh, I love their theme so much. Not necessarily to like listen to it by itself, but it just makes every firefight with them so dang intense. So as a breakdown, the Hive is comprised of multiple tiers, just like the Fallen. The bottom of the bottom are Thralls, which don't have any kind of guns per se, but do have really sharp claws, which is not an ingredient for a good old day. Their biggest thing is that they don't do a whole lot of damage. They don't do a whole lot of damage individually, but they almost always will come in like really big packs. So you can melee them if you get the timing just right to where you'll stun them and you won't take any damage. But as you can see here, if there's multiple of them, even if you melee, you won't hit all of them, and chances are they will get a couple shots in. So we have the Thralls, we have Acolytes, which are pretty much just Dread clones. They have projectiles, they like to take cover and have kind of weak projectile attacks. But here's the thing. Wizards are pretty much the bane of my existence. They're kind of like glass cannons in the sense that they don't have a whole lot of defense. More defense than Acolytes, but compared to like other major enemies in the game, they're not necessarily that tough per se, but they have really strong attacks, and they have a poison cloud, which not only deals damage to you over time, but oh god, I'm in it, but also slows you down. I was caught on a rock. I was caught on a box. Okay, as I was saying, their poison cloud will not only deal damage over time, but it slows you down, which makes you a huge target. It's a big pain in the butt, but luckily for us, He's very weak to our grenade.
The Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries.
Oh man.
The darkness could be a lot closer than we think. We should probably get moving.
Yeah, we probably should. So, real quick, before the mission ends, there is a gold chest up here. Very important not to miss it. And bada boom, bada bing. I want to say, man, yeah, like what he was saying, it's really not a good sign that we're seeing the Hive on here. Typically, their home has been on the moon. Like, they kind of overtook it. But their coming is a sign that the darkness is getting stronger, which is definitely not a good thing on our part, you know. Darkness is very no bueno. Very, very no bueno. But hey, we survived them, we got through it, and we got a nice set of warping claws. Very nice. We're definitely going to have to take that to the tower and get our rightful reward. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty exciting stuff. That's what I meant to say. So anyway, that's going to be it for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching me play. And I will see you in the next one when we tackle the Warmind. Gonna get that hype. Gonna get that hype. As we're gonna get that hype, boy.